I took the risk and I went outside. I mean, this green stuff on the ground, it's kind of scary. At first, I didn't know if I could walk on it, but then I did, barefoot. Whew. Let me tell you what, that was a sensation I could have gone my entire life without worrying about. But we're outside, natural, beautiful sunlight. But there's a big update today, and I feel like it was something that we should address because, well, as we know, the state of the game, it's been interesting. You run around, if you play PvP, you know it's a mortal city. What are you gonna do when it's a mortal city? There's nothing we can do except get one yourself. And so, let's talk about all the changes that are coming today. PvP, PvE, maps, everything you need to know about Destiny 2, the mid-season update. So let's do it. So the first part of this is all gonna be the weapons that you use in PvE. The first thing we've got are auto rifles. You're seeing a 25% increase to their damage in PvE, not PvP. The second one we've got our pulse rifles. We're seeing an increase in their damage output by 20%. Again, only in PvE. Hand cannons and sidearms, we're seeing an increase of 20%. 20%. Next up, we've got scout rifles. Now, if you were just like me and you sat inside over the weekend and you did the Grandmasters, I hope that you got a good hung jury because this is its time to shine. If you got a shoot to loot with kinetic tremors, let me tell you what, you're gonna love this. 10% increase to damage. And it was already good. So now let's really have some fun. The next thing that we're seeing in particular, just the EQLOS SMG, that is seeing a change to its recoil pattern because it wasn't following the typical aggressive frames that those SMG archetypes usually followed. So that's gonna be interesting because I have a really good EQLOS, but nothing compared to the Immortal that did not see a change. Let me just cut to it. It did not see a change at all. The next thing up though is fusion rifles. Now I'm really excited about this because I do have a really good Wizened Rebuke from Iron Banner. If you did not get one, I almost feel bad for you because that thing is incredibly good and we're gonna see it increase by 15 damage points per burst. So it's gonna go from 245 to 260. Each burst is gonna do slightly more damage to about 28.9 damage units in PvP. Now that one in PvE is unchanged. The next thing that we're seeing an increase in is trace rifles. Now I'm kind of in the air about this one because I have been getting absolutely murked by a couple of them. I don't really know how that's gonna fare out. I'm gonna do a video on testing that one out. So you just wait because we're gonna see just how good they actually are in PvP now. But that's pretty much the biggest thing. And also they're getting a reduction in their flinch while aiming, which that's kind of crazy because I like to snipe and you can't snipe anymore. Sad. God bless it. We're seeing a reduction in recoil for sniper rifles, which might actually make a play in its flinch. We'll have to see on that. But it's getting a reduction by 50%. It's also getting an increase in total ammunition, but they still won't let us carry over special ammo between rounds if you play competitive PvP. Let's take that up with the Destiny 2 wizards over there, the elves that run this show. Now those are just for the primary and some secondary weapons. The next thing that we're seeing though are some exotic changes. So the final warning, you can no longer mark targets through Titan barricades. Okay. The Teraba is also getting a slight nerf. It's reducing the amount of Ravenous Beast energy generated when taking damage from 3% to 1%, and a reduced zoom from 16 to 15, which might be a slight buff for SMGs in general. We don't want a super zoomed in scope on SMGs. The Revision 0 though is also seeing a slight change as well. 4 times the charm is now getting some rework because it's been seeing some issues where like it would activate too early and the perk was up, causing the weapon to overflow its magazine. But now it's in return, oh, and I don't even know this weapon. What is the Revision 0? Oh, I do know this gun. Okay, cool. It seems like the Revision 0 is pretty much just getting a PvE change, and it's the Hunter's Trace rounds is increasing by 25% in PvE, and also they have increased the Hake Heavy Burst rounds by 75% in PvE. If you use that gun, congratulations, you are now seeing a slight improvement to the weapon and some changes and I guess fixing some bugs with it. Now with the primary and secondary weapons out of the way as well as the exotics, now we are looking at the Crucible changes that are coming. So Clash is leaving the Clash is now leaving the quick play playlist. Thank goodness, nobody likes Clash. And it will only contain Control, which is a huge dub. But where's the new map? There's no new map. I'll draw one up for you all over there at Bungie. We'll make a map together. Just hit me up. My DMs are open. We're also changing skill-based matchmaking a little bit. Thank hallelujah. Tired of sweating my absolute... This is why I'm outside. I'm sweating outside right now filming this. But I have sweat dripping down my armpits sometimes when I'm playing inside with the AC, with the fan on max. What's that about? Just trying to play some quick play. Trying to get my pinnacles. Maybe enjoy it a little bit. They were getting outlandish. But that's okay. Things are changing. Skill-based matchmaking will focus a little bit more on connection, which is amazing. But it's also going to loosely change based off of your skill. So if it finds that you're pub stomping for a little bit, it's going to sit you down. It's going to humble you. Maybe for a game or two. Play against some real good players. And then you'll be back to having fun. It's a trade-off. Life's a trade-off. But their ultimate goal with skill-based matchmaking is to try to make more even gameplay. So they're trying to increase that skill gap so that you have more evenly matched games. That's ultimately their own goal. Now, I don't know how I overall feel about that, but for the most part, time will tell. Time always tells with these things. I'm just hoping that they fix me getting weaseled every couple of seconds. If you're matchmaking with 6 people, they want to make sure that you play against people that are also matchmaking with a fire team. It's just trying to make it a little bit more fair, which I get, but at the same time I don't, because sometimes I'm just playing with my friends, you know? I'm not trying to sweat and become a competitive mage. They're also adding something called a Relentless Rotator, and this will contain our God forbidden Clash game mode as well as Rift and Zone Control. Their goal with this is to try to target those people that like to play as a team, so that they hope that the teams play in these team-based games. Whatever. Have fun with your teammates playing knockoff Rift from D1. That thing, D1 Rift was amazing. I don't know what happened to it, but it's probably because there's no new maps. My computer's about to take off. She's hot. Let's hurry this through. But the Relentless Rotator will be gone once Trials of Osiris comes out. They're also adding a Crucible Party Rotator, which will include Mayhem, Scorched, and Momentum Control. That's just fun if you want to mess around for a little bit. One of my biggest things that's going to be that I'm excited about, even though I'm not Ascendant 3 in the competitive realm, is a really cool emblem. So now you can really sweat in the playlist meant to sweat to try to get a cool emblem. And then I believe this is the last one that I know about. Your spawn over shield when playing competitive games, especially in Trials of Osiris, is going to go from 52 HP to 150. I believe this is very similar to D1, and their goal of this is to not get melted upon res, which if you play with some of your bonehead friends, I'm sure you're used to getting melted off red. So hopefully that's huge. But we're going to close this so she doesn't explode, because can you hear her? Listen to her. She's about to take off. Try to hide her from the sun. She don't like the sun. Just like, all of us. We don't like the sun. Damn, she's hot. Golly. But that's it for this week. It's been hopefully a couple of really fun improvements that are going to better the game. And if you enjoyed, my name's Jay Swilly, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.